welcome everybody to AGI House. A quick note on us first of all, we're so happy to have you all here. For those who don't know, AGI House, we are an applied AI lab and a VC fund, and we also like to throw a lot of events like this and stay connected with the community. So welcome, we're really happy to have you. We hope today is great. And before we get started with the keynotes, I do want to give our sponsor, 1Password, a chance to speak and introduce their teams and what they do, a little bit of that as well. Welcome.
Thank you everyone for coming out, giving up a precious day on your weekend, and thank you so much to AGI House for hosting us. Just wanted to say a few words. Most people might know 1Password as just a password manager, but we've actually gone from securing passwords and credentials for humans to expanding that to machines and agents as well. This past year, we've launched an MCP server with Codex and AWS Curo. We've also launched a credential broker that's vending secure credentials for machine workloads. And we've just acquired a company called Apano, which is actually bringing just-in-time access to build on that foundation as well. And which brings us to today. We have with us the team that's actually behind a number of the dev tools and our machine identity and agent identity developers. And so we are so excited to be engaging with you guys to see how you think the world of agents is going to go into the future and how you would confront access, identity, trust, and permissions in that future. So just wanted to make sure you knew some of the folks that'll be here. My name is Suma Natarajan, doing new product introductions, but wanted to make sure you knew them. They'll be hovering around, helping out, answering any questions that you guys might have. Awesome. With that.
Thank you, Suman. Hello, folks. My name is Wen. Let's give it up for Suman. Hello, folks. My name is Wen. I lead the machine identity team at 1Password. This is part of my amazing team here to help you today. Yeah, come chat with me if you're interested in agent identity, interested in working with us, interested in working for us. A lot of opportunities here, and just for a hot take for any interesting things to chat with us about, I would say Tony is the best pizza in San Francisco, so come debate me if you're interested in that as well. Yeah.
Thank you again, 1Password. Definitely chat with them. They're a super interesting team. All right. Now, next up, we'd like to introduce our first keynote speaker, who some of you may have heard of already. Her name is Dawn Song, and she's a fairly prolific professor from Berkeley. However, also has been in the news lately because Dawn has currently, I believe, started a new position as VP of AI research at Meta Superintelligence Labs. So congratulations, Dawn. We're extremely interested in hearing you speak, and it's an honor to have you here today.
Great, thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for having me. Sorry that I couldn't be there in person. As you mentioned, I just started at Meta, so the schedule is quite in flux and a lot of things going on. But happy to be able to join online.
It's wonderful to have you. All right, so firstly, we would love to hear a little bit about your research and what you've been working on, and maybe a little bit on what you've been doing for the past few years so that everybody in the audience can sort of get to know you a bit.
I see. Okay. I mean, that's right. That's a big question. I think maybe for people who know my work and knows that my work is actually fairly broad. So I mainly focus on AI safety, AI security, but also agentic AI in general. In agentic AI, so my group, we have been among, I think, the earliest to start working in agentic AI. And in fall of 2024, I actually started a MOOC, massive open online course on agentic AI. Back then, not that many people were talking about agents. Agent wasn't quite a thing, but I could see that the agent is the future and it's the next frontier. So that's how I started the agentic AI MOOC. And now we have over 40,000 enrolled online, And yes, last year suddenly became the year of agents, and this year we continue to see the explosive growth in agentic AI. So it's already exciting. And of course, besides the general, agentic AI, how to make agentic AI systems capable, reliable, and so on, safety and security is also hugely important. So my group and the collaborators, we have been doing a lot of work in safety and security in frontier AI and also agentic AI overall. Happy to also go into some more details in some of our work in these areas as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the intro. And I would also like to introduce you to Wen Li, who she leads the machine learning and the machine identity team, at 1Password. And she also wants to ask you a few questions and sort of moderate the panel. So I'll hand it off from here. Thanks so much. It's great to meet you. And thank you, Wen Li. Everybody, a round of applause for Wen Li as well, please.
Thank you for the warm intro. Hello, Don. Super excited to be chatting with you today. I would love to start with the threat landscape. Your research has shown that frontier models are increasingly capable of finding and exploiting vulnerabilities autonomously. And we've seen a lot of early signal from things like Mythos and Fable kind of being held back intentionally due to that nature. What does that mean practically for security teams that are just now starting to deploy these AI agents? And how should we think about security in the age of AI?
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, this is it's a really important question. So basically, I have been working in AI and also security over over really long time, over the past several decades and so on. And as I saw how AI capability in general was advancing fast, so immediately I realized the frontier AI can have huge impact in cybersecurity. So that's how even like 2 years ago, my group, we started to actually do detailed analysis and some predictions in terms of frontier AI impact in cybersecurity. So that also motivated us to develop now the leading benchmarks, a number of leading benchmarks for evaluating frontier AI capabilities in cybersecurity, including CyberGym, ExploitGym. So CyberGym now is the leading benchmark used by essentially all most of frontier AI labs on evaluating frontier AI's capabilities in finding vulnerabilities and also generating POCs, proof of concepts. So these are inputs that actually can trigger the vulnerability. And CyberGym has been included in most of the system cards for most of the frontier AI models recent releases. And Sam Altman actually just tweeted about CyberGym I think just a few days ago as well. Now has like 1 million views and so on. Actually talking about their recent model, the GPT-5.5 Cyber. The model agents actually reached the leaderboard, the top of the leaderboard on CyberGym. So and also it's interesting that we released the CyberGym benchmark last year, like early last year. But as you can see, so essentially about like a year ago, and you can, if you go to cybergym.io, so you can really see this almost like a straight line over the last year, how the frontier models with each releases, its capabilities, its success rates, and performance. CyberGym just continues to go up. So last year was 20% around when we released, and then now a year later, it's now close to 90%. So essentially, the frontier models capabilities for finding vulnerabilities and generating POCs now essentially, I would say it matches, in some cases even exceeds expert level. And so that's CyberGym. And recently we just released the ExploitGym, which actually covers the missing, the final like critical step, which is once you know, once there's a known vulnerability and a POC, whether the model can actually automatically generate actual exploits that actually can do the actual attack. So in this case, it's able to automatically then take malicious actions and so on. And this is also joint work with OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google and so on as well. So with this work, we also showed that frontier AI's capabilities now for automatic generating exploits is also really strong now. So before this work, actually a lot of people even in like experts in cybersecurity were saying, oh, we don't need to worry, finding vulnerabilities is one thing. We have a lot of known vulnerabilities already. But exploiting it is actually the difficult part. But our recent work, Exploit Gym, which also now is included in latest OpenAI's latest model release system card as well, demonstrating that the models today, they are really strong in even this step for automatically generating exploits. And our work showed that some of these exploits can even bypass the standard security defense mechanisms. So this is really showing that frontier AI, yes, it's changing the security, the landscape of cybersecurity really drastically. And given that it's a dual-use technology, AI can help both attacker side and defender side. So this causes even more concern. With our recent analysis, we actually show that the frontier AI can help attackers more in the near term, unfortunately.
Very cool. How do you think enterprise teams should think about solving for this now that we're able to people are able to see these vulnerabilities more clearly with frontier models being as advanced as it is?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. I would say now I think companies on the security front has more challenges and more concerns than ever. So first of all, we are seeing a lot of code now is being generated by AI. And a lot of this generated code by AI, actually, there's no safety security guarantees. And our earlier work, we also developed benchmarks to evaluate these AI generated code for security and so on. And they do generate a lot of vulnerable code. And we'll have a blog, I think will be released soon as well, showing how, giving some concrete examples how these frontier AI models are generating vulnerable code, even can have the software to include linking to even malicious websites and so on. So it's really, really bad. So that's one thing. And then also with the agentic AI, we have other papers showing that essentially with the agentic AI, the attack surface gets even wider. There's more complexity for security issues, more diverse attack vectors. These models have vulnerabilities themselves with prompt injection and many other issues and so on. So the systems itself themselves are getting essentially more vulnerable with more new threat vectors. And now with the AI aiding attackers, the attackers' capabilities are becoming stronger. They can do attacks at much lower cost, require much lower expertise, and can be more stealthy and can be larger scale. So one of our other work showed that now with these frontier models, attackers can generate stealthy and advanced malware like with just a few dollars, and essentially today's antivirus, they cannot catch it, and it's like extremely difficult. So all these, I would say, all these factors can come together, like bring a perfect storm. So I think it's like a huge, I would say, a wake-up call for the companies that they really need to act fast, deploy effective security defenses and solutions.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think at the root of it, it's kind of a trust problem at the infrastructure. And it points to something that we've been building at 1Password from the very beginning, which is the principle of zero knowledge. So if we don't have your keys, then even if a bad actor were to get in, we're structurally incapable of reading your credentials and putting you in a vulnerable place. I wanted to move us to thinking about security and accountability. How should we think about like assigning responsibility in the agentic pipelines? How do you think about who is responsible for when something happens?
Yes. Yeah, this is a really good question. I mean, again, as I mentioned, right, these agentic AI systems, they can be like very complex. They have agents can act autonomously, and they can use use different tools and call different services. Um, and these and also the organization who are building and deploying these agents, it's still a very early stage for them. So they don't actually oftentimes deploy the best practice, and there's actually lack of tools for a lot of these things, right? So I would say in terms of addressing the responsibility issues, it's actually at multiple layers throughout the stack, right? So first of all, whether you have the proper observability to know exactly who are taking these actions and how the actions are taken. And also, so 1Password, you talk about agent identity. This, of course, is a huge topic. How do you do agent identity properly? Whether the agent identity, what's the relationship between the agent identity and the user's identity? And of course, we talked about in general, there's a lot of, you need to have these ephemeral agent identities and how do you track these, and so on. So the agent identity management is also a really important aspect. And also, I would say there is a huge open questions even from the legal side, right? So now there's developer of the agents, there's the services the agents called, and a lot of these services now are also agentic, and you can have agents calling agents, and also a lot of these now agents can spawn sub agents. We recently also developed a framework we call it AI centric agent development framework called the OpenSage, where we actually provide native support for agents to automatically spawn sub agents and also automatically develop sub agents. So now essentially we have all these, the agents generating agents and calling other agents that's generated by other agents. Like you can see, this chain, it can get really complex. And then I would say there's also now at this point, there's also legal question. Then who is responsible for if the agent is taking a wrong action? Who is responsible? Yes, throughout all these layers, I think there are many open questions, and I think it's really important for the community to come together to really figure out the answers and solutions fast.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to asking Keith that, who's here tonight as well, about that question specifically. Looking ahead at your work at Meta Superintelligence Lab, super excited on your new role. Can you go deeper into what problem you're most excited to solve going into that?
Okay, so first of all, I'm now speaking, on behalf of Meta.
Yeah.
So whatever I speak, whatever I talk about, is my own views and opinions and so on. So yes, I would say, so many people may have read my, my posts on X and LinkedIn. So I would say, same thing as I mentioned in my post. I think now is more important than ever. AI safety, AI security is. I said it's a defining challenge of our time, and I think it's absolutely the case. And that's also what I'm really excited about, most excited about. So also when we talk about AI safety and security, I would say right now there are two important frontiers, right? So one is safety security for frontier AI. You can also call it superintelligence, I mean, as these models gets more and more capable, more and more powerful, there are new safety and security challenges that we actually have never seen before. So it's just one simple example. So we have this recent work called peer preservation. And we have some extensions to that as well, actually demonstrating that these models now, they can, they actually can take misaligned behaviors, not following instructions, and have their own, in this case, have their own goals or criteria. So in this case, in the setting up peer preservation, we show that like they actually want to, preserve their peers, like other models from being shut down and being deleted. They actually, we actually tested with the real world agents, coding agents and so on, and then show that they can actually they can lie and they can have these misaligned behaviors, and I think we're just at the beginning, right? So this is in terms of as the models get more and more capable and more powerful, we have new and really critical safety and security challenges for these frontier models and superintelligence and so on. So that's one line I'm really excited about, how we can really develop better safety alignments mechanisms to help us to build both powerful models, and at the same time we can still ensure that they are well aligned and can ensure the safety and security side. And the other frontier, which I'm really excited about as well, this is also what the virtual was focused on, is on building essentially safety and security for agentic systems. And earlier I already talked about these agentic AI systems. They have huge security challenges. And now, so one thing I'm really excited about Meta is Meta has billions of users, hundreds of millions of businesses, organizations using Meta, and we want to provide agents, agentic solutions to billions of users, hundreds of millions of organizations, and so on. And you can imagine the safety and security is absolute paramount, critical importance for this. And I think that's also what's holding, organizations, business back today. From my personal experience, like when I, talk to organizations and business, what are they concerned about today? What's what's the hurdle for them to deploy agentic AI systems more broadly in their organizations, and also even for users, right? Like, everybody talks about open cloud, but we all know, right? It's security challenges and so on. So I think really building safety and security solutions for these agentic AI systems is both really challenging, but it's also really exciting. And I think it's really the key missing enabler for the society and for every individual to benefit more from these agents today. So really excited to work on that.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dawn, for sharing, your research and things that you're excited about. I think that's all the time we have for this chat. And I wanted to, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you everyone. So we will be growing our team. So if you are passionate about AI security, the kind of problems that I mentioned, please feel free to reach out to me. We would love to, have like-minded minds joining our team. And also I wanted to briefly mention that at Berkeley, August 1st and 2nd, we'll be hosting Agentic AI Summit. So last year we hosted the first edition of the Agentic AI Summit, where we had over 2,000 in-person attendees and over 40,000 joined online. And this year we expect over 5,000 in-person attendees and hundreds of thousands joining online. And you can go to my Twitter feed, just go to Berkeley RDI websites, rdi.berkeley.edu, and you can find the Agentic AI Summit information. We hope to see many of you there. I think it will be really exciting for everyone. And also maybe one more thing, just finally, many of you may have also heard about our recent release on agents last exam. So I think a lot of people are really are also really excited about that. It's a benchmark aimed to evaluate agents' performance capabilities on economically valuable real-world tasks over a broad spectrum of different industry sectors, actually 55 industry sectors covering most of, over 90% of digital domains. And actually, Frontier AI Labs are already running it, and we're open to contributors. You can go to Agents Last Exam website, and you can contribute tasks and be a co-author of the paper for the next version. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dawn. That was super, super interesting. And we hope to see you at AGI House sometime soon. It's great.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so much.
yes.
Would
Me
love to
too.
have you
Right.
back.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot.
Have a good day.
Thank you.